for the fans. The glory for the pinstripes.
Time's up. The front office's patience has run out, and a name from the past, a champion, is being called to put out the fire. This could be the shakeup the Yankees need or the final mistake. I'm about to break down all the details. If you care about this team, hit subscribe now because this news is urgent. What's up, Yankees Nation? Welcome back to the channel. This is your direct source for everything happening in the Bronx. No fluff, no sugarcoating. And today, we're talking about something heavy. The pressure cooker is about to blow at Yankee Stadium. And the name at the center of the storm is once again, Aaron Boone. What I'm about to bring you now isn't just some internet rumor. These are conversations that are happening behind the scenes, echoes coming from inside the organization. The current state of our team, my friends, is forcing Brian Cashman to contemplate the unthinkable, or perhaps the inevitable, a change at the helm. And the name that's emerging with tremendous force, almost like a whisper from a glorious past, is Joe Girardi. Yeah, you heard that right. The last manager to take us to the top of the world back in 2009 is being seriously considered for a triumphant return to the pinstripes. Let's break down the facts because here we deal with information, not wishful thinking. Over the last 25 games, our record is that of a mediocre team, to put it mildly. We've lost more than we've won, and that sent us plummeting in the wild card standings. Right now, we're clinging to that third and final spot with the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners ahead of us. And if you look in the rearview mirror, the picture is terrifying. The Cleveland Guardians and the Texas Rangers are right on our tail just 2 games back. The margin for error is gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. Every game from here on out is a final, and the feeling we get watching this team is one of a ship without a rudder, a team that can't close out games, that makes mental mistakes unworthy of a Yankees uniform. The chatter about Girardi gained serious traction with a powerful piece by Michael O'Brien from the Staten Island Advocate. And he didn't just speak like any other fan, he articulated a sentiment that many of us, the real bleacher creatures, share. He wrote, and I quote, "Joe Girardi was at the helm the last time the Yankees won it all back in 2009, and it would be fitting, if not poetic, if the skipper who led them to their most recent title returned to end what has become the franchise's second longest championship drought." It's poetic, yeah, but it's more than that. It's strategic. Girardi knows the New York pressure cooker like few others. He doesn't get rattled by the media. He's not afraid to call out players publicly if needed. He brings the weight and glory of that 2009 title with him, a memory that gets sweeter with each passing year without a new ring. His time with the Phillies had its bumps, especially with bullpen management, and that's a point worth discussing. But his record in the Bronx is undeniable, a .563 winning percentage. That speaks for itself. He knows how to win here. The front office, led by Cashman, made a Hail Mary move at the trade deadline. We brought in David Bednar and Camilo Doval, 2 elite closers, to try and put out the fire in our bullpen, which has been without a doubt our Achilles heel since early July. The idea, according to Greg Joyce of the New York Post, is to turn that weakness into a strength. The hope is that with Bednar and Doval in setup and closer roles, we can finally have some peace of mind in the late innings and get guys like Devin Williams back on track. But what if that's not enough? What if our hitters who've been streaky can't carry the load for a starting rotation decimated by injuries? Losing Garrett Cole to Tommy John surgery before the season even started was a devastating blow. Then losing Clark Schmidt the same way, that was the gut punch. The truth is, the patience with Aaron Boone is wearing thin. He's had 8 years in the job, with rosters stacked with talent and repeated flameouts when it matters most. The front office gave him all the tools. Now the bill is coming due. The question hanging in the air is, would Joe Girardi be the magic bullet for all our problems? Probably not. Baseball is too complex of a game for one single change to fix everything. However, his arrival would represent a culture shock, an injection of urgency and discipline that seems to have evaporated from the clubhouse. Girardi is known for his meticulous preparation, for his famous binders full of data and stats on every opponent. He's a strategist, a general who commands his troops with a tight rein, and maybe that's exactly what this roster needs. We've seen talented players like Aaron Judge, who, by the way, had a spectacular rookie season under Girardi in 2017. But the team as a whole just doesn't click. It's missing that fire, that win-at-all-cost mentality that defined the great Yankees teams. A lot of people knock Girardi for his bullpen management with the Phillies, and it's a valid criticism. It was one of the factors that led to his firing there. However, you gotta put things in perspective. Is the bullpen he had in Philly comparable to what we have now with the additions of Bednar and Doval? I'd argue it's not even close. Having two of the best closers in the league at your disposal completely changes the game. Girardi's task wouldn't be to build a bullpen from scratch, but to manage elite pieces, something he did masterfully in 2009 with Mariano Rivera as his ultimate weapon. His familiarity with the New York pressure is a massive asset. He wouldn't be coming in to learn the ropes. He'd hit the ground running. He's been in the eye of the storm and walked out with a championship ring. Let's be real. The Boone era has been defined by a feeling of almost. We almost made it to the World Series. We almost won the division. We almost got past the Astros. But for the New York Yankees, almost is a four-letter word. We don't hang almost champion banners at Yankee Stadium. This franchise is about titles and we're on a 15-year drought. For a younger generation of fans, the Bronx Bombers are just a legend their parents and grandparents talk about. They haven't seen a dynasty, haven't tasted what it's like to be the evil empire feared by the entire league. Bringing Girardi back would be a bridge to that victorious past, a reminder of the standard of excellence that has always defined this organization. The contrast in managerial styles between Boone and Girardi is stark. Boone is the player's manager, the guy who aims for a friendly, trust-based relationship with his players, with a more laid-back approach. Girardi, on the other hand, keeps a professional distance. He's the boss, and there's no question about it. His intensity in the dugout is palpable. He'll get in an umpire's face. He'll protect his players fiercely, but he also won't hesitate to bench them if they're not performing. That tougher approach might be the wake-up call for some players who seem to be in a dangerous comfort zone. The question is whether Cashman is willing to admit that his bet on Boone, an 8-season-long bet, hasn't produced the ultimate prize. Making this change now in the final stretch of the season would be a bold, risky move. But it might be the only move left to save 2025. Analyzing the situation with the cold hard facts it demands, firing Aaron Boone before the season ends would be a shock, but not a complete surprise. Brian Cashman historically doesn't make mid-season managerial changes. He values stability. However, the heat is coming from all sides. The New York media, the fans in the stands and on social media, and most importantly, the results on the field. The team looks fragile, especially mentally. That 8th inning loss with Devin Williams on the mound was a microcosm of our season. A lead that evaporates in the blink of an eye, leaving a bitter taste of what just happened. These repeated collapses eat away at a team's confidence. And when the confidence goes, the losses pile up. The nostalgia for Joe Girardi is powerful, no doubt. He would connect us directly to the era of Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Andy Petite, Jorge Posada, and the incomparable Mariano Rivera. That 2009 team was a star-studded cast for sure, but Girardi was the conductor who led the orchestra to perfection. He knew how to manage egos, how to get the most out of every player, and crucially, he knew how to win in October. This current roster is different. It's a new era. But the captain, Aaron Judge, has already blossomed under Girardi. In 2017, Judge had his de facto MVP season, even if the award went to someone else. Girardi knew how to protect and at the same time challenge the young superstar. That relationship already exists and was successful. That could be a key factor in smoothing over a transition. The argument that times have changed and Girardi's style might be old school for the modern player is something to consider. Baseball has evolved and so has man management, but the need to win, discipline, and accountability are timeless. Does Girardi's more iron fist approach still work? I'd argue yes, especially when a team seems to need a reality check. It's not about disrespecting players, but about establishing a clear, non-negotiable standard of performance and effort. When you wear the pinstripes, the standard is a championship. Full stop. Anything less is unacceptable. And the feeling is that message has gotten a bit lost under Boone's calmer management style. If a change happens, it needs to be swift and decisive. Bringing Girardi back wouldn't just be changing the nameplate on the manager's office door. It will be a clear signal from the front office to the players and the fan base. Playtime is over. The goal isn't just to make the playoffs, it's to win the World Series. And if it takes bringing back the last man who got us there to do it, then so be it. Brian Cashman's legacy is also on the line. He has assembled expensive, talented teams year after year. If he keeps backing a manager who can't take the final step, the buck stops with him. Bringing in Girardi could paradoxically be Cashman's way of saving himself and the Yankees season, showing he's willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means admitting to a miscalculation that's now nearly a decade old. Let's get to the bottom line here. The potential return of Joe Girardi is more than a simple manager swap. It's a battle of philosophies. On one side, you have Aaron Boone, the modern, communicative, relationship-building manager. On the other, you have Joe Girardi, the old-school, intense strategist who demands accountability and whose only metric for success is a championship ring. The bullpen, now reinforced with Bednar and Doval, is supposed to be Boone's saving grace. He's put all his chips on this bullpen overhaul. If the team continues to falter in the late innings and slide down the standings, even with these two elite weapons in his arsenal, he'll be out of excuses. The injury excuse for the rotation, while legitimate, only goes so far. A New York Yankees team has to find ways to win despite adversity. The 15-year World Series drought is a stain on the history of the greatest franchise in American sports. It's too long, too unacceptable. The Dodgers broke their drought. Other teams have reinvented themselves and reached the summit. Meanwhile, we, the Bronx Bombers, are stuck in a cycle of postseason disappointment. Girardi's return would be an attempt to shatter that cycle, to summon the spirit of 2009. He's not a messiah, but he represents a standard, a demand for excellence that feels like it's been missing. He's handled the New York pressure, he's handled a clubhouse full of superstars, and he's delivered the trophy. His resume for this specific job is impeccable. The stone-cold truth is this: if the Yankees don't drastically turn things around in the next couple of weeks, Aaron Boone's position will become untenable. Brian Cashman will be forced to make a move. And in that scenario, Joe Girardi isn't just an option. He's the most logical, most poetic, and perhaps the most effective option. He is the living reminder of the last time we were truly the evil empire, the team everyone loved to hate, because in the end, we always won. Now, I want to hear from you, Yanks Nation. What do you guys think about all this? Is bringing back Joe Girardi the answer to our prayers? Or do you believe Aaron Boone isn't the problem and we should stay the course? Would bringing Girardi back be a step forward or a step back? Drop your comments below. I want to know what every single one of you thinks, from the bleacher creatures to the fans watching from home. Your voice matters. Don't forget to hit that like button if you appreciate this in-depth, no-nonsense analysis. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. Things are heating up in the Bronx and you're not going to want to miss a single update. I'll be right here, bringing you the inside scoop and the analysis that matters. Stay tuned.